Hello, hello, hello everyone. Good evening. So today is our first day of the knockout stage. And before we get into the first game of today, let's thank our sponsors first as usual, which is BNB Chain, Spirit Master, Biosyn, and Izumi Finance for sponsoring today's live streaming. And that's it for the introduction. Let's go straight into the knockout games. And let's see. Alright, here's the live games. Let's check out Lion King. Right? It looks like Lion King has the first turn because there's actually no. It looks like Lion King played Pitch Festival the first turn. Lion King had much more cards than the Chinese guy. And it looks like that's a level 5, right? Yep, that's a level 5 Bully. So, since everyone had 2 mana, Lion King burned his legendary, and Chinese guy burned his level 5 Gorilla. So, both of them play a 3 mana card, trying to speed up the game. And Bully summoned a pirate at the back. So, the pirate was. Bully was position in the front, which got swept back by Mastering Seclusion, and then into Bamboo Forest and a conversion. This turn is Bully into the Drunken Man, so this is another speeding up play. Fallen Star was burned, but that hard counters the Mila last round because no spell card was played, so that Mila basically just died. And for a 5 mana card, a 3/4 body is not a very strong card since the Mila was only level 4, which is already pretty high. Now Lion King played a Wine Master this turn into level 4 Rising Up. It looks like Chinese guy had one more Falling Star, but that Falling Star unfortunately hit a tree, which is 8 HP naturally. But level 5 Bully seems like is dishing out enough damage itself along with the level 5 Sailor. So first game goes to the Chinese Frozen Pirate deck. So now Lion King lost his first game. And we don't know if Lion King has a second deck or not. So it is possible for Lion King to come out with a second deck that might be built up with completely different races or still the same but different style. Because this first deck, or I should say the deck that was played in the first game, seems very control. So maybe Lion King has a aggro Academy Zen deck, or just an aggro deck that's completely different race. Because you would actually want to balance out your deck. So like if you run a control deck, then maybe you want your second deck to be an aggro deck. So you don't run two control decks and then just kind of get hard counter, I would say. Because most of the time, um, if all your decks are the same style, it is quite easy to find their common weakness. So it is always better to run different styles of decks. And that looks like a super fast game. So let's see. We do see the bell power is different. So the bell power is different. So this is for sure a different deck. While the Frozen Pirate seems to be the same deck. And according to the cards we see here, it looks like this deck is about buffing up something. What is the Chinese guy username in English? If you just do the literal translation, it would be small fat. So I would say if you don't do literal translation, it would be a chubby guy or a chubby dude. Okay, so it is actually the bird deck. So it's about buffing up the bird, and then the bird just died. So, okay, that was a very fast game. It looks like Lion King is still going to keep playing the bird, while the chubby dude is going to play actually play the same deck. It's just Lion King keeping up with his different deck. Yeah, and this level 5 gorilla is a huge threat, I would say. 10 attack is really hard for the bird to deal with it. It looks like Lion King got the mountain power and the yin yang seal, so that's first strike. Hitting twice. Yeah, double strike. Hitting twice. Okay, so Lion King got the third game back. Okay, okay. So if we exclude the first game and just look at the second and the third game, it's actually 1-1 when Lion King is running the bird deck. So we do see the bird deck is strong enough to beat the chubby guy. So maybe this deck is Lion King's solution to the Frozen Pirate. And here we go. The fourth live game. And we do see the bird is already being played, and it looks like a Vigor Growth was also being played. So that was 4 mana, and this turn it's 5 mana. So a Mountain Power plus Yin Yang Seal. So since Mountain Power was played, the armor is also very high, so that stopped the chubby guy from just dreaming to win. That was an instant surrender from the chubby guy. Alright, that was very fast. And we come to the last game. The very last game for both Lion King and the chubby guy. This is their last game. They gotta win here if they want to make it out of the knockout stage. They won. Okay. So the chubby guy thinks Lion King is gonna place the bird at the bot row, but Lion King actually mind played the chubby guy and placed the bird at the top row. Because if the chubby guy gets it right and plays the smuggler, at the same row as the bird, then it could take down the bird the turn that is being played. Given that we saw Lion King's deck earlier, it's mostly buff cards. So when there's no creature on the board, it's very hard for Lion King to play all the cards that he got because all the cards are buff cards. And as you can see, the Fnatic cannot take out the bird as well because of the hexproof. So ideally, um, as long as the enemy's creature is not hexproof, such as the bird or Lin, the legendary card, then no matter what card that Lion King is buffing it, then the Chubby guy can always take it down with the Fnatic. But Lion King also knows that, so his deck is built around this hexproof bird because hexproof creature is always the best creature for you to use your buff cards on. Especially when if you let's say you use two buff cards and then you use it on a creature, that would be a total of three cards. And if it just get taken down by let's say one Fnatic, then it's basically one Fnatic win trading your or I should say creature trading your buff card. And that is a very bad trade, I would say. Okay. And it looks like okay. It looks like Layla's 5 attack is strong enough to take down, or I should say to deal with the top row problem. And the chubby guy is playing Layla's Fireball on each row. And that stops the spider from being able to attack the chubby guy. But even if the spider was able to attack, it was only 8 damage, so that was not enough to take down the chubby guy. So I would say the key turn was the turn that the bird was being taken down. So let's do a quick recap with the God's View to see what was in both players' hands. And okay, we do know the Frozen Pyre is also running a portrait. So Inyanseo and combo was being played. The bird had 9 HP, was taken down 5 by the Fnatic. Layla was played on the top row. Layla traded with the Professor and Fnatic killed the bird. So the bird got hit by the Fnatic twice. And before the Professor draw a card, the only card was Lin. Even if Ling was played in front of the bird instead of the professor, there seems to be no difference. The bird would still be taken down by the Fnatic at the end, so there is it looks like there's no misplay. It was just I would say unlucky for Lion King and lucky for the chubby guy. Yeah, it was basically a match of who can draw better cards. And in the fifth game, the very last round, seems like Lion King lost his luck. Alright, let's see. Here's a 0-0 game. Let's check it out. Ōdin's Zen Academy versus the Inferno Zen deck. Looks like Odin is kind of controlling the board here. I see you, JC. Good luck on your knockout match. Just when I said Odin seems to be controlling the board, a level 5 Barak is being played, and that is way too much damage for Odin to deal with. And that's an instant FF. Alright, it looks like the Inferno Zen is doing well. And a lot of games that haven't started. Yeah, that is actually Fat Tiger. Alright, is there a second game? And only one card was changed. Actually no. Only one card was being kept. 3 cards were changed. And for Odin, it was 2 cards. So Odin saved 2 cards, and Fat Tiger saved 1 card, which is probably the 𝙂𝙖𝙢𝙪𝙩𝙝, since it got instantly played on turn 2. Or I should say turn 1, mana 2. And this is a level 5 Scholar, so if it was a level 4, it was already dead before you can even draw a card. So this level 5 is indeed useful. And the Deer Sage is being played here. But unfortunately, the 𝙂𝙖𝙢𝙪𝙗 is not tanky enough to tank one hit from the Nerf Golem, which was 5 attack before the nerf, yeah. I think it was last Ďał or the Ďał before last Ďał. But no matter how much attack it was nerfed, now it's a 12 attack and 15 HP Golem with Hexproof and Trample. Well, Trample is what the Golem naturally has, so it was the Hexproof that's being added on. And Fat Tiger is playing the level 5 Devouring Grudge, trying to take down Odin before the Golem is too big to deal with. And Odin's trying to survive here by playing the Mastering Seclusion in the front, but Fat Tiger knew that, so he put the Infernal Butcher in the mid row. But even if it was placed at the bot row, since the Golem is hexproof, so Mastering Seclusion will always be the target. So as long as Mastering Seclusion died, there is 15 attack on board, so there's no way Odin can survive. The only way for Odin to win there was to one-shot Fat Tiger with his Golem, but given the cards that we saw, it was quite impossible. Alright, third game. Okay, very classic. 𝙂𝙖𝙢𝙪𝙗 played. 𝙂𝙖𝙢𝙗 being played into the tree. And Master in Seclusion was played while Odin burned a card, which is the Peach from the 2 mana tree. Play the Hoary Root. And Fat Tiger is trying to kill the Hoary Root, even though The Infernal Butcher is only 5 attack, but that's good enough to lower the Horiru's HP to 2. And another Infernal Butcher is being played, so that's 10 attack here. It takes down the tree. And that means the Horiru needs to die. And that is a very strong board for that Tiger. That is 12, 16 attack on board here. And Odin only has 13 HP left. So Odin needs to stop the board damage. And that's a silencing spell. Level 2 silencing spell being played. But there is 9 damage at the bot row, so that's a loss to Odin. Alright, so that's 3-0. Let's see. Okay, two-seated player. Even though the bell power difference is a little bit too big, but I would say not too much. Still playable. So it's Rising Star versus Draken. Draken is running. I believe this piggy is summoned by the portrait. I haven't seen anyone who runs the piggy itself. And when I say the piggy itself, I mean you actually put this piggy into your deck instead of portrait, which is something that I haven't seen a single time yet. This is probably summoned by portrait. And Rising Star here is trying to kill Draken before he can heal up with the piggy. So he wants to protect his Reaper of Despair. But the legendary vampire is stealing away the Headwind Ranger, which was supposed to protect the Reaper, but now it's actually the killer that killed the Reaper. So as we can see, the vampire was being played, so this is already a late game, we could say. So when it's already in the late game, Academy has a lot of strong cards, and that is a little bit bad for the aggro deck like Infernal Pirate. So maybe Rising Star needs to try and be more aggressive this game and see if he can take down Draken before Draken can play all that strong academic cards. Okay. We don't really see Draken's card here, but I believe we can see those cards when cards are being switched or cards are being changed. I think it bugged out. Yep, it actually bugged out. Okay. Good time, or good thing we didn't waste too much time. So let's see. It was 5 mana, so there was 3 turns being passed. And after 3 turns, instead of lowering Dragon's HP, Rising Star seems to be on the side that's doing the board control. both of them did discard one card for the opponent, so that makes them um I would say pretty much equal. They're equal on the card amount. Oh, that's a 0-3? Alright, that's a GG. Looks like I was very fast. And it looks like Draken is out of cards, while Rising Star still has one card. And since Draken has no card, that means 5 damage from the Bloody Ghost. That makes Draken's HP down to 16, the same as Rising Star. But Rising Star's board seems a little bit stronger than Draken right now. So that's a level, let's see, a level 5 Firestorm. And Draken has no HP, so he has to take 5 damage from the Bloody Ghost. And that's enough to take down Draken. Who play for me? Well, that's a secret. Yeah, I would say that's a small secret. But yeah, I wasn't the one. Alright, this is the third game for Rising Star in Draken. Okay, so that looks like a first strike from the Ranger. Yes, that's a first strike. First strike buff on the Ranger instead of double strike. Okay, so that's a Hori route trying to take the top row, so he gets to attack earlier. And Rising Star playing the Bloody Ghost at the bot row, trying to make sure it doesn't die. And this level 5 disarm is being played here, which is not as powerful as the level 5 Layla here. Okay, so it looks like Layla's Fireball is doing a lot of work of taking down Rising Star's high attack low HP creatures, and that clears the board, which makes the Gorilla able to move. And that is too much damage for Rising Star. While Rising Star actually take down Draken as well, but Draken dealt 4 more HP to Rising Star after 0. And Rising Star was only able to deal 2 more HP after 0. So the victory goes to Draken, even though both of them died. Alright, that was very intense. I would say that's very well played by both sides. Very well played by both the Inferno deck by saving up all those damage spells, and very well played by Draken, knowing that he needs to dish out all the damage he got as soon as possible. Alright, so 4 mana means they already played 2 turns. And within 2 turns, Rising Star's HP was lowered to 20 by Draken. I believe this Exotic is doing the work here. And this is a level 5 bully, summoning the 3/4 seller, the level 5 Crimson Warrior, the bot row. But Rising Star is down to 2 cards only here, while Draken still has 5 cards. And this Exotic is pretty much being a tank here, so it blocks 6 damage. And then Draken's being able to take down the Crimson Warrior, while he has to take the 8 damage from the Crimson Warrior. But I would say that's a good deal, because now there's only 6 damage on the top row for Rising Star, and he has only 2 cards. Okay, Infernal Butcher is being played, but it take down I would say the worst creature that he could target at. Because this one, the Sphinx, is 7 mana, and the Blacksmith is 6, while the Seller is just a creature that got summoned by Bully. So this Snake Lady is also a very good play because it summons 3 more snakes, which lowers the chance that Lilith hits the Sphinx and the Blacksmith. And since Lilith actually took down 1 snake, so that Snake Lady was a very well play. Because if the Snake Lady wasn't being played, then Lilith would target something else, which is probably the Sphinx or the Blacksmith. So I would say that was a key play last turn. The Snake pretty much carried the game, and that made Draken won the very last game that he needs. Alright, and that's congrats Draken for being advanced into the top 64. Alright, let's see. Alright, here's a live game. Oh, they're still switching cards. So let's check out their very first game. Alright, Infernal Pirate, classic aggro. And this one is Rough Rock Pirate. So pretty much playing Night Assault, and then the Burrowing Badger, the Fat Rat Feast, and then probably Portrait. Alright. The Hawk is trying to play Fat Rat Feast, healing as much HP as possible, while Jerry is trying to lower Hawk's card amount, which he successfully did with the Maki, the Illusionist. But the Fat Rat Feast actually summoned both of the red got summoned at the bot row, so that's very good news for Hawk. But Jerry is running the very new card, which is Soul Curse. It pretty much, I would say, get away 1 enemy and 1 enemy's card. You don't usually take down opponent's creature with only 8 damage, but since the Soul Curse was being played on time, which is turn 4, or I should say mana 4, so 8 damage is pretty much enough to kill 90% of the creatures during mana 4. And that's level 4. Yep, level 4 Thunderstrike, which lacks 1 damage to kill the level 5 Behemoth Hunter. If it was a level 5 Thunder Strike, it could take down the Behemoth Hunter without losing the Infernal Butcher, and that would be 5 more damage in, and one less card for Hawk to draw because of the negative effect of Infernal Butcher. But for now, Hawk still has no card, so Hawk is only able to play whatever he draws in, which is Night Assault here, and that doesn't seem to be the card that is going to carry Hawk. And this Force Hunting is going to be discarded, and 5 more damage being dealt by the Bloody Ghost. Alright, and a Zoologist being drawn. That's an instant FF. Yep, that is instant surrender by Hawk to Jerry NNM. Alright, that's back to their second game. 5 mana, so 3 turns was passed. And Maki was being played. Okay, so this turn we see Hawk playing the portrait when he has more HP than Jerry. So we do know there's one more portrait in Hawk's hand. And Jerry is somehow out of the cards right now. So that means he needs to deal with Hawk's unlimited portrait with whatever cards he draw here. Okay, and Jerry got a Thunderstrike that he played in the first block. That means Maki is able to discard one more card if he's not dead by this turn. And unfortunately, that's enough damage from Hawk. Alright. Last time I woke up early, nobody, and tonight I stayed awake late for playing, but my opponent wasn't there. All opponents are scared of me. That sounds pretty good, man. Okay, that's a very interesting turn one. Hawk seems to be a little bit unlucky on his hands, and Jerry seems to be a little bit unlucky as well, but at least he has a Thunderstrike to be played. So Jerry played a Thunderstrike, and Hawk did nothing. So even though Jerry has a blue avatar, he's able to lower Hawk's HP. And the Bloody Ghost is being played at the bot row as usual, very classic from Jerry. And this is a very bad situation for Hawk because we do know Hawk is running Portrait, so it would be ideal for Hawk to has higher HP than Jerry. That way he can play unlimited Portrait. And Jerry knows that, so Jerry is trying to lower Hawk's HP to make sure that his HP is always higher than Hawk. And Jerry draw a Falling Star, a low 4 Falling Star. That's enough to lower Behemoth Hunter's HP by 1. And that is exactly perfectly enough for Infernal Butcher to take down the Behemoth Hunter while not dying. And we do see a level 4 Evil Flame. So the Evil Flame is being played by burning the Crimson Warrior. But Hawk had potential motivation in his hand. So that's 30 HP for Hawk. And after the healing, minus the Evil Flames damage, Hawk still has 21 HP. But with 5 cards, while Jerry might have 12 HP more, but he only has one card left. And he plays a Reaper, trying to make sure Hawk doesn't heal, but a Tyrant is being played here, and there's no target. Or I should say, the Tyrant cannot target itself, so there's only two targets that the Tyrant can hit. So it was 100% guaranteed for the Tyrant to kill both of them. And now Jerry's HP is only at 15, and the Tyrant is being hexproof by the Zoologist. And that is enough damage from Hawk. Take down Jerry. Alright, that's a 3-1. GG. Congratulations to Hawk for winning the game. And let's see. Lord TWY versus um my Mermy. Okay, so both of them are running Empire. The only difference is one's with Empire Zen and one's Empire with Academy. So somehow my Mermy burned his Caroline. Maybe because it's only level 1 and play the level 2 Ito or Kaido. Lord TWY is buffing up the small angel, but there's no card from Zen and Empire that can give this angel trample. So if Lord TWI cannot deal with the Phantom Bear that's always gonna be summoned by the Professor, this angel cannot deal damage. So Lord TW's solution to the Phantom Bear Professor is to play Lina, the big angel. And alongside with the small and big angel combo, Lord TWY came up with Lin, which got Heritage instantly last turn. So now this is a very strong board because there are two hexproof creatures. One is invisible and one heals HP. So my Mermy is trying to deal with the board, but as we said, hexproof creatures are very hard to deal with, and there's not much my Mermy can do. So the first win goes to Lord TWY. There is a 700 bell power difference. So Lord TWY is for sure stronger in terms of card levels. Okay, the Professor of Defending is lucky enough to take down the level 1 security guard. And Lord TWY played a level 4 Caroline, while my Mermy only had a level 4 Kaido. Actually, no, a level 2 Kaido. The level 4 legendary versus level 2. And I would say Caroline is a little bit stronger than Kaido, especially when both of them are being played on the same turn, because Kaido's debut effect and pre-strike effect doesn't hit Caroline at all. And Kaido also got instantly taken down by Dear Sage's debut effect. And my Mermy is trying another way, which is trying to buff up his Hori root. So usually people want to play Hori root on the top row, but my Mermi kind of had no choice, so he had to play his Hori root at the bot row. And I believe Lord 𝙂𝙧𝙪𝙪𝙝 might not might just ignore the Hori root and go um as much damage as possible on both top and mid, because the Hori root is naturally shrouded, so that means there's no buff for the Hori root. And the most important buff that matters for bot row creatures would be the yin-yang seal, and it's impossible for Hori root to have yin-yang seal even if my Mermi is running the Zen race. We do know my Mermi is not running the Zen race, but even if he's running, um, by placing the Hori root at the bar row is putting yourself in disadvantage, because it's you will always have to tank the damage from top and mid row before your Hori root can move. And if there is no Holy Punishment or Judgment Day, that kind of card from Empire, then your Hori root is very unlikely to actually hit the opponent, which, as you can see, was being blocked by a small creature summoned by the Templar Protector. So we can see my Mermi playing all his cards on the top row, trying to stop the damage. But it's very unlucky for my Mermi, because the Templar Protector kept summoning security guard at the bot row. There's a chance for the security guard to be summoned on here or here. So I think that's a 40% chance. So I would say my Mermi is looking for that 40% chance, even though it was not enough to one-shot Lord 𝙂𝙧𝙪𝙾. Last turn it had 64 attack, and Lord knows that's gonna one-hit himself, so he played Dear Sage at the back, or I should say at the bot row. Alright, and looks like that card is not a Judgment Day. Alright, and this is the third game. Templar Protector being played turn 2 as usual from Lord's side. And this is a very interesting card. This card has a very nice body for a 2-mana creature, but it has Defender, so it's not able to move unless my Mermi charges a card. Alright? So that's a Hexproof and an Annabelle. Now it looks really hard for my Mermi to deal with the Templar Protector. The Horde Root is indeed looking good at the mid row here, because he has a small tank in front of him. But the problem is this Templar Protector is being hexproofed, so it's very hard for my Mermi to take down the Protector. And as long as the Protector is on the field, it's going to keep summoning small security guard like this one. And it doesn't matter about the stats of the security guard. As long as the security guard is being summoned, mid-row is going to block the Hoary Root's attack. And Hoary Root is the win condition for my Mermy here. Alright, and the Templar Protector is simply strong enough to take down my Mermy by itself after a combo is being played on him. Alright, and that's 0-3. Congratulations for Lord being advanced into top 64. And let's see. This is a Inferno match. Inferno Pirate versus Inferno Zen. So Romana 88. We do see he has a Info Flame. And Era7 is playing. Let's see. Looks like Era7 is playing a unique Inferno deck. Because when people talk about Inferno decks, usually it's an instant connection with aggro deck. But we do see Long Ear Girl in the Bamboo Guard, which was summoned by the Bamboo Forest, and the 5 mana Cerberus. So the Cerberus and Mastering Seclusion, like actually maybe besides this Mastering Seclusion, all the cards that we saw are not aggro cards. So this is a, I would say maybe not aggro at all. Maybe this is a control Inferno deck. So it's actually not aggro versus aggro. It's aggro versus control, even though both of them are running Inferno. And Era 7's zoo style of the deck is very well, I would say very well designed for countering decks like Inferno Pirate, because Inferno Pirates always runs the Smuggler because they want the exotic, and since they are running Pirate, they usually also run the Gorilla. But the problem of exotic and Gorilla is that you want the enemy to have like no creatures on board, which is quite impossible when you're against decks like Era 7's deck. Because Bamboo Forest and Heritage is a card. The core of Heritage and cards like Bamboo Guard is to fill up your board with adjacent creatures. And it looks like Romana was being taken down by Era 7's Evil Flame. So now we know Era 7 is not only running a lot of creatures, he's also running the classic Infernal cards such as the Evil Flame to surprise the enemy, I would say. Because when the opponent's deck is mainly focused on creatures, as we can see here again, the Bloody Facebreaker, another creature. So when you see the opponent is playing a lot of creatures, you would expect them to run buff cards such as Combo to buff up the creatures instead of, cards like this one, Falling Star, to deal straight up damage to the opponent itself. So I would say Evil Flame is a surprising card from Era 7. This unique style of Inferno Zen seems to be crushing the classic Inferno Pirate deck. Yeah, maybe it's the balance of Hell and Zen. Alright, Inferno Butcher had a chance to take down the Super Phase Breaker, but it failed. It took down the Long Ear Girl, and that made the Phase Breaker even stronger. Alright, and that's a 2-0. This is the last game for Era7. And maybe the first game of Romana. Let's see if Romana can make it back. Both of them did change some cards. Alright. And Era7 is playing a level 5 Skullbreaker. And since the seller is only 2-3, the bully is probably not level 5. Yes, the bully is level 3. And then a level 3 as well. The level 3 Ranger. But it got buffed with double strike instead of first strike because no enemy creature was being played. So this is 10 attack at the bot row for Romana. And Era7 is trying to deal with the Infernal Butcher. While Romana trying to speed up with the game with his level, let's see. Level 3 Devouring Grudge with 11 HP, which is supposed to be very hard to take down. But unfortunately, it got instant takedown by the Infernal Butcher with a 33% chance. Infernal Butcher was strong enough to take down the Ranger as well itself. And then a 2-mana sweep was being played. That made Romana with no creatures on board left. And also 1 HP only. When Era7 has Double Strike Skullbreaker, which has 12 damage. And 5 from Infernal Butcher, so that's 17 damage on board. So Romana needs a instant spell that deals damage right away. But it looks like Romana is lacking that kind of card. And Era7 is going to take down the victory here. Alright, and that's a 3-0 for Era7. Congratulations to Era7 for advancing into the top 64. Alright. And there's one more live. Let's check out their very first game. Frozen Academy and Empire Zen. Okay. And we do see mind control here. So who's running a control deck? We do see Obelisk and mind control. And this is Legolas. Legolas running Deer Sage and the Missionary. So this is probably a zoo deck, buffing up all the creatures on board. Even though we don't see any reinforcement or field defense here, but it's probably still in the deck. So Hippo is probably trying to control all the cards that he can control. Some cards he cannot control, such as Caroline, but as long as Hippo can control most of the cards or most of the creatures Legolas has, then that would be strong enough for Hippo to take down the victory here. But since there's no hexproof creatures on Hippo's side, and we do see Legolas running Judgment Day, that Judgment Day would basically one-shot all the creatures that Hippo has. And Legolas is still playing the clean sweep here. Make sure that his HP doesn't get too low. Both of them have a lot of cards in their hands right now. And Legolas burned the Judgment Day. Perhaps because he thinks he can control the board here with Lina the Big Angel. But this Phantom Bear is being summoned after Lina's debut effect, so the Phantom Bear was able to move, which lowered Caroline's HP down to 1. And Legolas is trying to save the Caroline here, so he's going to play the Clean Sweep along with a combo, so the Caroline can hit twice. Actually, along with a combo plus a Divine Pitch, a level 5 Peach. And that made Caroline 9 attack. So Legolas was able to heal up 18 HP here. But Legolas is out of Clean Sweep here, while Hippo has a lot of cards to play top row to block Caroline's damage. So Legolas trying to buff up the Caroline here to make sure Caroline doesn't die, and play the Bamboo Forest, trying to... I would say he wanted the Bamboo to be here, so in front of Caroline to block the damage, and there is 7 blocks, so there is a 3 out of 7 chance for one of the Bamboo to be here, which actually happened. So I would say that's a very good news for Legolas. And now he draws into a Yin Yang Seal. That means Caroline can pretty much take down the first 2 creatures on the top row for Hippo. But that's still not enough to actually hit Hippo. While Hippo already has 8 plus 9, so 17 damage from mid and bot row. But for this turn, since there's no more creatures on the back, Legolas is able to play Master in Seclusion on the back, which is going to sweep the Phantom Bear away. And that means that Caroline is going to be able to take down the Professor plus the tree here. And he also played the Pitch Festival that he just drawed, which gave him 3 more cards. Even though there's no more clean sweep, because Legolas already played 2 of them. And usually people don't run 3 clean sweep. So Legolas might run out of clean sweep already. But Legolas still has bamboos and Hymn of Light. Alright, and we do see Hippo has 1 Sphinx in his hand. And the Absolute King also summoned a bamboo, which has a 75% to be a top row, which is very good for Hippo, of course. Very bad for Legolas. So Legolas was able to take down the only 2 creatures top row, and then take away the victory with his Sword Taoist that he just drew the very last turn. Alright. So that's a 1-1. Legolas won the first game, but Hippo somehow made it back the second game. So let's check out the second game here. Okay. So this time it looks good for Hippo, because the Hippo did have something to play turn 1, while Legolas didn't have his Temporary Protector on time. And Hippo played another turn 2 Professor of Magic Break, which silenced the Templar Protector. So the Protector cannot summon security card anymore. And this turn, Hippo is going to play the Winter Knight bot row, which lowers 6 attack total. And it has 1 armor itself. And that's because it's only level 3. If it's level 4 or 5, I believe the Winter Knight itself will have 2 armors. But that is actually good enough for this game. Legolas cannot deal with 1 armor Winter Knight. And Legolas is trying to survive here with Rising Up. It's a level 5 Rising Up. So that does may Legolas survive this turn and got 2 trees on the board, even though 1 tree was still away by Hippo. So Legolas play Mastering Seclusion and a Clean Sweep that sweep away 3 creatures and take down 1. But that's still not enough to deal with the top row. So Legolas playing Lina the Big Angel here, trying to gain control of mid row and bot row back after cleaning up all the creatures. But just as when Legolas is trying to come back here, the Lina is going to be mind controlled by Hippo, along with a Mila here. And that Mila copied Legolas' Judgment Day. And the Judgment Day also didn't kill the Lina. So that's an A10 creature on board that Legolas has to deal with. And Legolas is not able to deal with the Angel this turn. We do see he has 3 buff cards, which means he cannot deal with the Angel at all. So that's an instant FF by Legolas. Alright. And is this their 3rd game? Actually, no. That was the 4th game. Check out the 3rd game. So Hippo here changing 4 cards while Legolas only changing 2. Make the game faster. Okay. So Hippo is trying to get the Magic Break Professor, I would say. Trying to silence the Templar Protector. But Legolas kind of knew that, so Legolas was looking for the Caroline, which is, I think, the only hexproof creature in his deck, and buffing Caroline up with combo and first strike here. Yes. And he has a Brave Teacher, which is going to give Caroline 10 more attack, and that would be enough to take down the Obsidian Golem right away. And since we can see the card in Hippo's hand, there is no way for Hippo to actually take down the Caroline. And Mastering Seclusion sweep the Professor away before the Professor could even summon the bear. So that 3rd game was very quick for Legolas to take it down. So this is the match point for Legolas. Legolas needs 1 more game to win the victory here. But we do see Hippo has a first strike plus double strike small angel in the mid row. So it's going to attack faster than Legolas. But it looks like Legolas got the clean sweep on time to sweep the angel away. And then he used Yin Seal and combo on the Endless Lava. And then block the Caroline's damage at the bot row with the Phantom Bear Professor. So that means Legolas needs to deal with the lava here with only 1 card. And that card is of course not clean sweep. Otherwise Legolas would not FF here. So that's an instant F from Legolas. And it's 2-2, very intense fight. And their willpower is also very close as well. This is their last game. Match point for both Hippo and Legolas. Alright. And Legolas played Peach Festival by burning another Peach Festival. And Hippo played the Magic Obelisk here. And then burn another card, which is a level 4 group weakening to play the level 2 Kaido. And Legolas thinks Hippo is going to play something top row, I believe. That's why he placed his lane at the bot row. And we do see he has Master in Seclusion in his hand. So if there's no special play here, Master in Seclusion probably goes to here, which is in front of the lane. That way, Master in Seclusion gets Heritage buff, and that Heritage is going to help Lin. And yes, this is exactly what happens. And Hippo's plan is probably ignoring the bot row here, because he knows he cannot take down Master in Seclusion. Or I should say, he cannot take down both Master in Seclusion and Lin at the same time. So he decided to go all in terms of damage on the top row, and Legolas knows that. So Legolas trying to slow down Hippo's attack on the top row by playing the clean sweep, and Hippo didn't want to put all his eggs in the same basket, so he plays the Endless Lava mid row, which is a smart play because if Endless Lava was being played on the back row of the top, I should say the back block of the top row, then it's going to be swept away. And it's also not a very good spot for Endless Lava itself, because the lava can only copy itself when it's getting damaged. But Legolas has another clean sweep, so that's two clean sweep. And I believe Legolas is only running two clean sweep. So if Hippo thinks that way as well, that means he knows Legolas is out of clean sweep here. And he has a Winter Knight and a Scholar on top row. So he's probably not worried about top row here. But if he doesn't want to deal with the bot row, then he's going to play mid row. That would be his only place to play new creatures. Okay, but it looks like Hippo is going to deal with the bot row damage. So he play a Sphinx, but a Brave Teacher may lane strong enough to have Knight attack plus Master in Seclusion that was strong enough to take down Sphinx. And since the Master Seclusion attacked first and died, they gave Lane double strike. And they made Lane attack one more time here. And Lane has first strike again. So Lane is going to move here before Winter Knight and the Scholar. So Hippo has to deal with Lane's damage first here at the bot row. And if Hippo cannot do that, then he's going to FF. But it looks like Hippo thinks he can deal with that. But there's still 4 damage on the mid row here by Legolas. And that's enough damage to take down Hippo. Alright. And that's it for the intense fight between Legolas and Hippo. Congratulations for Legolas. And alright, that's a pretty good disconnection, because that's it for today. So before we end our stream, let's thank our sponsors first, which is BNB Chain, Spirit Master, Biosyn, and Zooming Finance for sponsoring today's live streaming. And that's it for today. We will see you guys tomorrow.